IPMNation.com.
Live from the Outpost Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Brought to you by IPMNation.com. Get ready for the gong heard round the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us for the 300th, I can't believe it, the 300th episode of All Natural Being. Through it all, I just never really thought we'd get here, but thank you so very much for joining us. And I'll tell you, I'm a little excited, as you can well imagine. And I said in one of the Facebook posts earlier, what could go right? What could possibly go right? I've had to learn so many things. Just right. And I wanted to share this before we get ready to kick off. And we've got just some great callers. But more importantly, throughout the day, here's my motto. You ready for this? Here's my motto. No, not that motto, this motto. Customer satisfaction is our number one goal. Yeah. After the rear end accident, when we got hit and we got the car back from the shop, this was the floor mat. Customer satisfaction is our number one goal. So throughout the 24 hours, right, we are really honored to have some great guests that are going to come on and talk to us about all different types of things that pertain to your all-natural being. So it won't be just me having fun, right? Although there's going to be a lot of that. It won't be me having fun. There'll be some people that really have some great things to talk about when it comes to your all-natural being, physiologically, philosophically. We've got a full, believe it or not, a full scorecard of everyone that will be calling in throughout the 24-hour period to help us with just that. What's it going to take for us? You know, because when we talk about the onslaught that is what we eat, what we drink, what we breathe, what we think, right? Our philosophical and our biological immune systems are just under attack. So all natural being was always my hope that it would be a way for us, a group of people, a kindred, a tribe, a family, whatever you want to call it, a group of people that would say, I'm not going to stand for the watering down of human wherewithal. When it comes to believing that my potential is just this side of infinity, put me down for a full 2 scoops. Put me down for a full helping. And that's what I had hoped to do all these 300 episodes ago, was get it to where it could be a show that did just that. For everyone that wanted to slam us, for everyone that wanted to pigeonhole your abilities, pigeonhole your vision, pigeonhole your desires, your dreams, right? For everyone that was never a fan of you putting your heart's highest priority top of your list. For everyone that was a fan of just that, right? Of putting your heart in the back seat, in the junk drawer, in the dustbin, wherever. I wanted a show that was going to be able to stand up to those folks, and maybe those folks are you and me. Maybe there's times where we go, hey, you know what? Yeah. You know what's going on? What? Oh, I'm talking myself out of my all-natural being. I'm talking myself out of my wild at the core. I'm talking myself out of putting my heart's highest priority top of my list. And I wanted a show that just said, hey, let's give ourselves permission to be done with that. No more with that. Let's give ourselves permission to go, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be dialed in. I'm going to manifest my destiny. Whatever I believe that destiny is, whatever I believe about the origins of that destiny, does it come with you at birth? Is it something that grows with you as you grow over the years? However you define the divine, however you define your destiny. I wanted All Natural Being to be a show that stood behind you, that was avidly you, a show that was your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader. And that's why I say for 300 episodes, I've been saying, I love the idea of riding shotgun with you. I love the idea of being your virtual hitchhiker. So let me quickly thank, and we've got a bunch of people to be calling in to help me open up this hour, but let me thank the good folks at IPMNation.com who gave me the shot in the first place, right? It's easy now to think of everything that it's grown into here on Facebook and Twitter and the Brian Brawdy app and the like. But I really need to thank the good folks at IPMNation.com because they gave me the shot, and that's what allows the signal to go out via radio to wherever it is you happen to be going. So I say, if you're heading to the gym, if you're standing in line in the grocery store, if you're doing all these other things, the gong heard round the world was my hope of being able to not provide streaming content, but just to give you a sense of grit to go so that no matter where you were, no matter what you were doing, you could tune in and go, yeah, he seems a bit nuts. But I got to tell you, I'm fired up after I hang out over in that thread a little bit. So that's what I wanted to do, was craft a show that would allow people to recultivate, to re-engineer, to reconnect with their truest sense of self and have some fun doing it. So I need to thank the good folks at IPMNation.com. Also, throughout this weekend, you'll be able to see the countdown clock, both here, and I have an in-studio guest. And my in-studio guest, I just figure in the wee hours of the morning, when it gets a little tight, I'll have someone to talk to. So there's my in-studio guest. But I need to thank the good folks, Lee Rowley and the good folks at Sales Copy Academy for being the official time sponsors, right? Keeping me honest here at our show. So the 24 hours, it's a countdown clock. You'll be able to see just where we are throughout the day and then imagine, right? And I promised that I would do this. Let me get through a few thank yous. And then I promised I would tell everyone about 104.9 The River, right? And I'm not going to mention any names, so I'm just going to say that 104.9 The River was a local radio station that I had just asked, hey, can you teach me soundboard? Can you teach me some of these other things? I know nothing about radio. Ooh, I have a face for radio, as we know, but I know nothing about radio. Could you help me? Could you teach me? So 104.9 The River, I head on over there and meet some people, and I send a couple voicemails, a couple emails. Well, apparently kumbaya for everybody but Brian. Crickets, right? Never heard again from the people at 104.9 The River. So you know me, right? If you've been hanging out at all, you know me now. So I figured, great, they don't want to help me. I'll go ahead and break the Guinness World Records for live call-in radio. So I really want to thank The River and 104.9 for just refusing to help me. I really want to thank them for not returning my emails or my calls, right? Again, kumbaya for everybody but Brian, because it compelled me to have to learn this. So I'm very excited about that. I also want to thank Henry Noel over at Transitional Radio, who is absolutely instrumental, and his very cool wife, Rita, absolutely instrumental in helping me get the studio built out here so that we could do just that. So thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done to help bring the studio to life, right? Because other than that, it's just me and a cell signal and calling in to IPMNation.com. But to Henry and to Rita and to all the good folks at Transitional Radio, thank you very much. And I can't go a whole lot further without thanking Wayne Noel, because anything that you might see here today, you go, ooh, you know what? That looks pretty good. Technically, that's not too shabby. It's all to Wayne's credit, not to mine, right? I'm doing this with like hand shadows on the wall, popsicle sticks, some glue, some chewed gum, that kind of thing. So if at any point today you go, oh, wow, man, the production value of that, or that was pretty smooth, all the credit goes to Wayne Noel, because if it were if it's smooth, you know it isn't me. All right, let's see if we can take our first caller this morning. Let me see if I got this. Take the call. Good morning. Welcome to All Natural Being. Who's this?
This is your good friend, Bob Lockwood.
Bob Lockwood. Thank you, brother, for calling in. I appreciate it. And I have to tell you, for those of you that aren't familiar, Bob Lockwood from Full Armor Studios in Aurora, Illinois, Bob and I started this adventure together 300 episodes ago. Bob was with me for the first week because I knew nothing. I always call Bob my technical Sherpa. I knew nothing about how to do this, and I was able to rely on Bob to help me pull it all off. So, Bob, as always, it is great to hear your voice. How's everything going in beautiful Aurora, Illinois?
Oh, it is. I mean, well, it's sunny and 65 everywhere I go. But I want to say first off, congratulations. I mean, you're like the Spartas now of radios. You've made it to 300, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
So,
yeah. Well, and I'm sure you're talking about my physique, right? I'm
course,
sure. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How many Spartan unicorns do you know? Right. Not very many. So you're right.
None,
Thank you for.
none,
Yeah, I try to watch what I eat. I do some crunches crunches.
I watch exactly what's coming in. That's how I do it.
That's how you do it. You watch the food as it comes in. Well, thank you for that very much. But can you believe it, Bob? 300.
Oh my God.
300 episodes.
I mean, it's crazy. And then, I mean, with all the stuff that's been going on in your hemisphere, right and left, not
right.
Poor choice of words, I guess.
No, that's okay. More right hemisphere. Cerebellum for me, but yeah, I got you.
yeah. See, that's the problem. My wife says nobody likes my jokes because they're just too sophisticated.
That's your problem. Yeah. Just too sophisticated. Hey, speaking of your wife, I should make mention of the fact that please tell her I said hello. Tell the boys I said hello.
Yeah.
And then also, if you would, we're going to be talking with Sherry a little later in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Guest volume is a little low. Okay, Wayne, thank you very much.
Okay.
Bob, let me see.
Let me talk. I can turn it up and I can talk louder. I can, how does that sound?
I don't know.
Ask your other technical Sherpa.
I know, right?
Sound?
So, he says guest volume at a little low, but now we'll see if we can address that. So one of the other things, Bob, Sherry is going to be calling in a little later, who you introduced me to after the brain surgery. Yep. So she'll be calling in and talking about no more BS or no more brain surgeries and some of the things that we're up against. So I thank you and Becky for the introduction once again to Sherry and that whole cause, because that was, it was a very... it was a watershed moment in my life, and it was nice to meet folks that were going through kind of the same thing. So I should thank you for that.
Well, hey, I mean, you've introduced me to a ton of people as well. So, I mean, I worked out well because I've only had one other good friend that I can introduce you to. So, that's how I roll.
Well,
but,
hey, listen.
How does it feel to be at 300 episodes now?
Well, it feels pretty. I have to tell you, I'm just looking forward to today. I got a little chair. I got a cot. I don't know if you saw this, but throughout the show, my number one customer satisfaction is our number one goal. So I hope that people calling in will learn something and go, oh, that was pretty informative, other than just Brian yucking it up with all of his guests. But here's one of the things that I do. Hold on a second. Yeah, talk about a rookie move. Let me turn off the air purifier because that's got to be aggravating your ear. I have this little tool. Watch this, Bob. You'll love it. Speaking about technical Sherpas. Okay, so I talk all the time.
That's why my volume was low.
Yeah. Hey, I'll do the comedy here, Lockwood.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So I talk to people all the time about philosophical amnesia, right? That you've forgotten who you ultimately are. And I should say to folks listening that Bob Lockwood was there at a time where I literally lost my mind. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh my gosh. And that was a crazy time too, because, So, have you shared the story with the audience? Or
No, please go right ahead.
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So I get a call from your son and he says, Mr. Bob, you got to come down. Something's not right with my dad. I'm like, well, I've known that for years. Are you kidding me?
Right.
No, really.
Like I'm supposed to stop everything because your dad is a couple cards shy of a full deck? Yeah, no, that's not happening.
I mean, like, I'm like, come on, tell me something I didn't know. And so he goes, no, something's not right. And we just got done hanging out or something. We had hung out earlier in the day. And so I'm like, all right, I'm done. And I told my wife, I said, I got to go. Something's not right with Brian. And she's like, okay, whatever. And I just had like a Dago tee, like a red Dago tee.
Yes.
Like the only time I've never worn one very often, which is weird. But I run down and you knew who I was. You're like, oh yeah, it's Bob. What are you doing here? You know. But you were in a corner and you were like, I mean, Dory from the Finding Nemo series, and you just didn't know anything. And you know, we went down eventually to the hospital, and I drove, and you were talking, and you know, you started kind of coming out of it, but it was just it was a very, I mean, I'll be honest, it was super scary because I was like, what is going on in that head of yours?
Yeah. Well, you know what's wild, Bob, is I have no recollection. I mean, I remember you and I think that day we had lunch or we were doing something.
You know what? You were moving.
Right.
We were moving, and we went to another like a big box store. I can't talk about amnesia. I can't think of the name of this for the life of me.
See, that's what we're talking about. That's all we're talking about is remembering who we ultimately are.
Yeah. So, and we were with Paige too.
Because
you bought one to buy lip.
Oh, right. Right. Well, that should have been the thing because you said, we were at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Aurora, Illinois. Yeah. And you were like, what do you need? And I said, what did I want? Skittles? Like,
no, you wanted lip balm. You wanted lip balm. That was the weirdest thing. I was like, okay. No, I don't think I've ever seen you put lip balm on.
Oh, I look damn good in lip balm. Let me just say. So, but here's the thing. You're right. That should have been the precursor. Right, Bobby? That should have been the thing that said, something's up. Well, I go to a Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You want power tools? Do you want this? Do you want that? Oh, no, thanks. I'll just take some lip balm. Right? So you're right. We did all that, and I think you said goodbye, and I think you dropped us off. And the next thing I know, it's the next day, I wake up. I don't know at the time, obviously, I'm in the emergency room, but I'm lying apparently in a hospital bed, and I look over, and there you are, sound asleep. You'd fallen asleep, and you had that red a tank top T-shirt on.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I dreaming? Where am I? And to this day, I have no recollection as to what they called it, transglobal amnesia, but I had no recollection of what went down to that whole thing. So I need to thank you for being there for the launch of All Natural Being. I need to thank you there for being there, taking Parker's call, going, something's wrong with my dad. And you're like, get in line. You just now noticed that? The number of people that notice there's something wrong with your dad.
Learner.
He is a slow learner. He's a strong guy, but at times I wonder.
Good-looking ox.
He is a good-looking guy, though, too. And so I need to thank you for that. But enough about me. What's going on with you? What's going on with Full Armor? What are you up to?
So we still have the production company.
Okay.
So doing that, I'm working a whole bunch of hours there, working my face off.
Good.
But I also now I picked up I say gig, but I was asked to work with Luigi's Pizza and Fun Center, and I'm their marketing director as well.
Very nice.
So I handle all their marketing, ad campaigns, all that stuff, and I'm here, 60 hours a week. I've really taken a page out of, like I said, one of my favorite guys, Gary Vanderchuck. He says, "Work your face off,
right.
Work it." And I'm like, that's what I do, and I love it. And it's one of the coolest places in Aurora because it's the oldest pizza parlor. Oh, it's been around for 65 years. So that's one of the things there. But it has a 3-level laser tag arena, 100+ arcade games.
Wow.
Party rooms. It's a really just a massive facility, and I humorly joke I kind of almost burned out my team in the first 3 days because I came in, I got
Sure.
full of energy,
Sure.
And I'm like, okay,
That
this
is you.
Let's do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Go. And they're like, whoa, wait a second. You can't just move that fast. And I didn't realize, and I had to apologize. I didn't realize that, this is like being part of a cruise liner.
right.
I'm so used to operating a yacht, a
Okay.
high-powered yacht, where a small team and
Sure.
just be more nimble. But so the team was like, "Well, we got procedures, we got things you got to work through first." But it's been fun. I've been doing
Very
this
cool.
for a few months now. So
Very cool. Well, I'm having a little bit of fun myself. I wanted to tell you, I stopped into a local radio station here, and this is my shout out to 104.9 The River here in beautiful Columbus. And I said to them, look, I know nothing about radio. I'd like to learn how to do this. I know nothing about radio. Would you mind teaching me the soundboard, teaching me this, teaching me that? And what I'll do is I'll volunteer. I'll empty the trash. I'll shovel snow. I'll wash your cars. I'll do, right? And I did this whole bit. And they never got back to me. Never returned my calls.
Really?
Never returned my emails. Yeah. So I've made. I promised everyone that I would show the card. I'm not going to read the names of the people there, but 104.9 The River, kumbaya for everyone but Brian, apparently, and they're the ones that sparked me, Bob, to go for the world's record later this December. We're going to be going. It's 80 hours and 5 minutes, and I figure if you're going to beat a record, you should at least, bring a little bit into the paint. So we call it 81 to win, and it's the Guinness World Record for the longest call-in radio talk show. So that's my way of getting them back, right? And proving to people that you really, not unlike you and Luigi's, right? It's really cool to do things outside of your comfort zone because you can never imagine how great you're going to feel when you pull the trigger and decide, okay, this is something, I'm not terribly good at radio, right? I have all these buttons and bells and sliders and everything else, right? So, but like you, when you walked into Luigi's, look, you and I are professional eaters. We're not necessarily professional cooks. Right?
You're absolutely right.
Right. So we're not chefs, right? That's all I'm saying. We're not trained as chefs. But you threw yourself into something that was new to you. And sounds like you're having the time of your life. So do you have any advice for guests? Again, remember that customer satisfaction is our number one goal here. Do you have any information for the people listening about, about throwing themselves into the unknown and what it's meant for you?
You know what? Actually, I do.
Please do.
When you're going into the unknown, just find some good mentors and find people that will help you kind of guide you. One of the unique things here is, they got me doing all sorts of stuff, like managing as well, not just the marketing. So I run a whole bunch of different things, but I do the marketing because that's in my wheelhouse. So I can I can have a small victory, like I can create an ad, or I can do a commercial or TV show or whatever. I can do that, and that's a small victory for me. With all the other stuff, you're like, man, Bob, you didn't fill out this paperwork right, or you didn't do this right, or So at least that's the thing. When you're going to go into something unknown, at least have something that's somewhat familiar, I guess, that you can fall back on a little bit and say, hey, at least I had a victory here.
Yes.
But then don't be afraid to speak up and say, listen, here's my ideas, because most of the team, the average member of the team, the leadership team, has been here for about 10 years. So,
wow.
So if you kind of averaged it all out, so they've been around for a really long time.
Sure.
But they have only been at Luigi's. They haven't seen other things, and that's what I do. I go look at other places and say, well, here's what they're doing.
Well, Bob, let me ask you that. We only have a few minutes before we got to go to the bottom of the hour break. But so what you're saying is that there are people that have been in positions for years, and maybe they have a little bit of occupational blindness. Maybe they've been doing it so long,
like that.
right? One way for so long. But if you're new or you have a passion, you shouldn't let it discourage you that everyone else has been there forever and you just come to the dance lately, because it could be you have a unique vision, right? Or you have an absolutely over-the-top view of what very well could make that business or that endeavor its next bajillion dollars. So don't be discouraged, right?
No, absolutely. And can I give you a quick example?
Yeah, please.
I pitched to the owner because I work directly with the owner. I don't have a middle person. I work directly underneath him. I said, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to, we have a college here right down the street, Aurora University, awesome college. But they have 800 new freshmen coming in. So we gave out mystery cards, anywhere from $1 to up to $25 to bring them in. And he goes, Bob, it'll never work. We've done stuff with AU. They've never done anything.
Sure.
I said, what have we done before? We've given them coupons and whatever. He said, okay.
Okay.
I said, let's just try. The largest ad campaign that we've ever kind of, put out in that range. We did it. It's been wildly successful. People
Great.
brought back cards. Now people are coming back because we're giving them special pricing. So they've come back without the cards to buy some of our pizza pies and stuff like that, play laser tag or whatever. So really, really cool to see that, like, hey, this thing, and now we're expanding that into an AU night once a month.
Excellent.
And other things like that. So, so it was a gamble, and I was lucky because the owner is willing to back me on things. He says I'm crazy. But I'm just.
But it's okay to be that crazy, especially if it's your passion. Especially if you're coming in and people will go, oh, I've never done this. I've never been any good. If it's a passion, Bob, final thought.
Yeah.
You say just throw yourself into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, go and don't have any fear about it. Just do it.
All right, brother, we got to run to the bottom of the hour. Thank you so very much, Bob.
Okay.
I could not have imagined kicking off the
having me.
300th without you because we were sitting at a table side by side.
Oh, God, I remember those days.
I do, too. Rat wars outside with the rats. The general manager came in and said, they're not rats, they're raccoons. Tomato, whatever it is. All right, brother, I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much for calling in, Bob. Tell everybody I said howdy in Aurora. And don't forget, if you live in the Aurora area, go to Luigi's, right? Isn't that what you'd say, Bob? All right, sounds good.
Luigi's, yep.
All right, brother, we're going to get out of here. I'll see you soon. Take care, man. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
One rated all natural being with Brian Brawdy here on IPMNation.com. Some say he was crazy long before they found the tumor.
of the day from the bottom of the hour. You're listening to the #1 rated all-natural being here on IPMNation.com. Thank you so very much for stopping over and hanging out with us. All right, we are back. So a little bit of the nomenclature. Let me hop into the thread real quickly before we do that, and then we'll come back. Good morning to Kelly and to Jenny. And to Rita, thank you so very much. Candace, thank you. Matt, thank you. Henry, thank you very much, sir. And I should thank Bob for calling in as well. Dallas, good morning. Sherry, good morning. We say Dana Lee, good morning. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us this morning. And Dana says she's got to run and do some studying. So as Henry says, Dana, go be fearless. So let me just see here where I have another special call coming in about 5 minutes that I want to, that I'm really excited about. But let me just get to a little bit of our nomenclature, how it's going to go throughout the 24 hours before, how it's going to go through the rest of our 24 hours. So at the bottom of the hour, we can take a little break because the world record says that you can take up to 6 minutes. We're only going to take 4. And then we'll take a 4-minute break at the top of the hour as well so that we'll be stopping the Facebook and YouTube feeds. So every hour will be a different episode. Every hour will be a different episode. All right, let's take another quick call. Hold on. Good morning. Thank you for calling All Natural Being. Who's with us?
It's Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, how are you?
Glad to be speaking to you after hearing that. I never knew the whole story.
Yeah.
On what happened exactly that day. I just remember getting the call that, there was something seriously wrong with you.
Oh, you mean
later finding out that they had found a brain tumor, but I never knew what happened that day.
Well, let me say.
If I did, I forgot because remember I have a DJ.
Right. Let me say hello and let everyone know we're talking to Jenny from IPMNation.com. And Jenny, way back when, was the one that gave me the break and said, "Hey, did you ever think about being in radio?" And
I don't think I gave you anything.
Well, I would say that you were instrumental, right? It's not like 104.9 when they go, "Yeah, don't call us, we'll call you," and then they never call. Right, so
they're just nuts.
Yeah, well,
they're absolutely nuts, and I don't get that. And that's pretty much what happened. Was I was cruising Facebook, and I came across your page. I don't know how I came across it. Maybe divine intervention. Call it what you want.
Call it, sure.
I came across your page and saw all the great stuff that you had to say. I mean, you're talking about survivalism and different things like that and stuff like that, but there was a lot you had to say about just being human, just being you, just,
right.
giving yourself permission to be you and not who X wants you to be or
sure.
Y wants you to be.
Sure.
But just, there was stuff like that in your messaging, and it's like, I felt like I'm staring at this going, does nobody else see this?
Well,
Can nobody else see what he has to offer? Why is he not on radio? He's got to be on radio. He's got to have a radio show. Maybe they'll let IPM carry it, is what my thought process was. So I reached out to you, and I was like, hey, do you have you ever thought about radio? On the off chance that maybe you hadn't.
And I hadn't, it wasn't something I was just going to kind of be doing what I was doing. And I didn't, I really hadn't thought of it, but still it was very gracious of you to reach out and to go to bat for me as often as you have. So I'm thrilled that you called this morning because I couldn't imagine kicking off the show. Like I said, Bob, who was with me for the very first episode, and then also, he's been with me through other times in my life, but I couldn't imagine kicking off the show without talking to you because I wouldn't be doing a 300th episode. I wouldn't be on Spotify. I wouldn't be on iHeartRadio. Yeah.
So you're on iHeart now. You're on Spotify. You're on iTunes. Oh God, I created a monster.
Yes, you most certainly did. So what are you doing for the holiday weekend? I know that you're going to hang out with me a little bit this morning, and then what do you got going for the rest of the weekend?
I went to Temple last night.
Okay.
And relaxing with Matt a little bit and
Cool.
my kitties. I'm actually in recovery mode myself.
Okay. Well, can we talk a little bit?
Taking it easy.
Can we talk a little bit? And I'll leave it totally up to you. But one of the things that's always just amazed me about you is you can't say that you've had an easy life. But every time I talk to you,
I tell people that I had a really hard life.
But every time I talk to you, you've got a smile. You've got something good to say. You're always finding the bright side. So can you talk about it a little bit? Do you want to share a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't mind talking about it at all anymore. I mean, I'll be the first person to say that there was a period in time when I did not want to talk about anything.
Right.
But I'm a cancer survivor ×2.
Okay.
I beat cervical cancer in 2005. I beat breast cancer in a combination of 2013, 2014. The cure beat me up quite a bit. So my body doesn't function the way that it should. I used to be an EMT. I used to be a lifesaver. So that was kind of a hard switch to go to the other side of the bed. But
Sure.
you know what it is every time, and I am a survivor of an abusive relationship. And a lot of people were surprised to find that out because I, like you, had a reputation for being large and in charge.
Sure.
But nobody knew the real me that was underneath.
Right.
And that's something that I think people like us are very good at, is hiding reality. And your friends are good at it, too.
Sure.
To your listeners out there, your friends are really good at it. They know you.
Sure.
They know how to get your attention and how not to get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to not get my friends' attention. I knew how to distract them into something else. I got involved in, I was a pretty big-time activist for a little while, and I knew how to get people to change their perspective by changing their attention onto something else other than me. I was not going to face me.
Gotcha.
You know, and it took a lot. It took getting divorced. It took starting over. It took losing everything.
Okay.
My career, everything. And I meet this crazy guy, Matt, and he's got this crazy radio station called IPM Nation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I don't need to do anything with it or anything, but, you know, it's his gig, it's his thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's his, you know, whatever. And and he and I end up together, and I end up starting perusing around Facebook, and here I start coming across all of these people that have voices.
Sure.
And I realize I have a voice too, and I've been so silent, and that silence can kill people.
Sure.
Plain and simple. And when you're willing to open up and you're willing to talk about, yeah, it was really hard to go through cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've had times when I'm completely crumbled on the floor in tears, to times when if I had a sledgehammer, I could redecorate.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
Absolutely. You go through those phases, but the thing that I found that worked the best for me,
Mm-hmm.
actually, is dark humor.
Okay.
A lot of dark humor. Like I have a port, which is common with cancer patients who get chemo, and I didn't have to have IV chemo. I took it in a pill, and I took it in a shot for 1 year.
Okay.
Well, the shot was for 1 year. The pill I'm almost done with. You know, but my veins decided to go bye-bye.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I still have my port. You know, this thing you're supposed to have temporarily. Here we are now. I think we're going into year 3 or 4, actually, of having this port. So, of course, they've got me hooked up to the IV line, and the nurse comes in, and I'm swinging it around like it's a boa.
But that's the point. That's what I'm talking about, Jenny.
Come in and I'm wearing
That's the point I'm talking about. You always make the best out of the situations you're in.
I come in and I'm wearing socks that say, well, I can say it on your show, or can I? Do I need to watch my language?
I think so. I mean, just because we have families watching and everything else.
They're funny socks, and they have this woman, and she's trying to walk through the rain, and the umbrella is backwards, and it says F this.
Okay.
I wear those to get my socks brushed. They're going to put a 1-inch needle into my chest. I'm going to wear funny socks.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, Jenny, like I said, I couldn't. I every time I see some of the things that you're going through, and I think of some of the challenges that you've had, you're always laughing. Even when it's painful, you're always in a great mood. And like I said, I just wanted to thank you.
I want to say something though. I mean, and you've been the recipient of this, so you can validate it for me.
Okay.
There are times when you got to reach out to somebody else. You just can't. You're at the end of your rope. You're upset. You're whatever, and you can't deal on your own, or you feel like you just want to crawl under a rock and just disappear. And I've learned that it's hard, but I got to do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I can't crawl back in the bed under the blanket and hide and disappear. I got to make myself get up and get out. I've got to pick up the phone and call Brian and say, Brian, I'm having a hard time. Can you talk to me, or I'll text you and say, this is what's going on, and just to have somebody else to talk to. There is nothing, absolutely, if anybody takes anything away from what I'm saying, there is absolutely positively nothing wrong with reaching out. And that's one of the things I love the most about your show. It's like your show reaches out to me.
Well, thank you very much.
I've learned a lot. You talk about me starting your show. You've made a difference in my life.
Thank you very much.
And when you go through being abused, when you're told that you need to hurry up and die, when you're afraid to close your eyes, you lose a part of yourself, or you feel like you lost.
You think, right.
Yeah, you think you did. You think it's gone, and you think you're never going to get it back. And we met, and you started doing this show, and this show is my baby.
I would agree.
This is my baby.
I would agree.
And I'm listening desperately to every single episode, and every single episode I'm going, that's me. Oh, ouch.
Thank you very much.
Wow, Brian, that hurt. I can't believe you just said that. It's true. And your show started speaking to me and getting me to kind of realize that, you know what? I matter.
Sure.
I do matter. And I'm worthy of love and belonging. I am worthy of friendship. I am worthy of trust. I am worthy of having good people in my life. What may not be is you may not be worthy in my life. And,
could be.
And I have the right to say, no, I'm not allowing that into my life. I'm allowing this in.
And then, Jenny, would you say then that there's nothing special about you, that we all have the ability to say the same thing you just did? We all have the ability to say, I'm worthy. We all have those things, right? It's not like you have a special elixir that you drink.
One trick.
Right.
There's one trick. You got to look in the mirror.
Yes.
You got to look in the mirror. You got to look at yourself, and you got to really look. Like, I know I have a big mouth. I talk too much. I interrupt people when they're talking. I forget what I'm saying in the middle of a sentence. I can be very demanding. I can be a little bit of a bee.
Okay.
But I can also be very loving, very caring, very compassionate.
Sure.
I can also pick up in 2 seconds and be there by your side when you need me.
Sure.
I can be that ear on the phone. I
Sure.
can, maybe bail you out because you're in a bad situation and you need somebody to just give you a hand up at this point in time. I am all that, good and bad. And like right now, Jewish people all around the world are starting the high holidays.
Okay.
And actually, last night was one of the services, and part of time is looking at the good and the bad of yourself. Don't just look at your faults and go, oh, it's not like our New Year is not like the English New Year where you go, oh, I'm going to make this promise to myself.
Right.
I'm not going to swear. You make
Right.
these goofy promises to yourself that you keep for like a week or two, and then like you walk away.
Right.
And that's the end of it. This is it. Or you say, you recognize something terrible about yourself, and you beat yourself up about it. And you beat yourself up about it. And I'm going to change that. And nothing happens.
Yeah. What is it they say? By the 21st of the month, people have abandoned, right? By the 21st of the month of January, most people have abandoned. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
what we do here is actually more realistic. It's taking a look at yourself, good, bad, and indifferent. What's good about you? What could be better about you, and what's really good about you?
Sure.
Those are the things that we look at in the Jewish faith.
Sure.
In this period of time of high holidays with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur coming up, it's not about just looking at the bad side of you. And I think that's where people get lost sometimes. And I love that about your show.
Well, thank you.
That you are always reminding people to look at what is good about them. Look at what goes through. Look at how strong you were when you stepped up. Look at how much power you gave back to yourself just by believing that you mattered.
And I would say that that's something that's good for everyone can have that same thing. There's nothing special. There's nothing unique about you and I other than our connection, our wild at the core, our all natural being, that kind of thing. So, Jenny, final thoughts.
The me was that I listened to your show, and it really did make a difference in my life. And I want to say thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome, my friend. Thank you for everything. And we're going to get ready to run here, but have a fantastic holiday weekend. As you say, you have the high holidays coming up as well. I'll be thinking about you. And again, 300, I would not be here if it weren't for you, Jenny. So thank you so very much. And I hope to talk to you soon. Okay. Talk to you. All right. Bye now.
Bye.
All right. Thank you very much to Jenny for calling in. I was having a little bit of a trouble, I think, with her audio there. So we're going to work on that. Hopefully she'll call back in a little bit later. Let me say hello to Chris. Chris, thank you for watching us here at All Natural Being. And Denise, thank you for being a part of our 300th episode. I super appreciate you stopping by. Please tell everyone there at the river we said howdy. I miss hanging out with you guys. And also, I forgot to mention when Bob Lockwood was on, but I want to do this little thing, right? And I'm calling it the True Frou Thank You. So now here's the scoop. For everyone that calls in, for all the different people that are going to, come and hang out with me, they're kind of like pacers, right? If you're doing an ultra marathon, I check with Ashley and I said, when your dad goes for a run, how long does he go? Oh, sometimes it's 30 hours. Well, they have pacers, right? People that just join. So I wanted to be able to say, I wanted to be able to provide something for the people that call in. So the True Frou Thank You is just really great. As it said, it's freeze dried, fresh, and immersed in dark chocolate. It's real fruit, all real fruit. And this is the raspberries you can pick. They're the bananas. I had a couple other flavors, but I ate them in the ramp up that was yesterday. But a part of the True Frou Thank You, everyone that calls in, I wanted to send a little something. And as I've said, that thankfulness never tasted so good, or gratitude never tasted so good. So I want to make sure that you know that everyone that calls in, I'm going to get you, and you'll get to pick bananas, cherries, raspberries. They got a whole kinds of stuff, but we're calling it the True Fru Thank You. So, and I think you can make, matter of fact, if you've called in and you're like, oh, you know which one I would like? I would like this or that. Go to TrueFru, TRUFRU.com. Go to TrueFru.com. Tell me what it is, what's the exact flavor that you like, and we're keeping a list of everyone that calls in on the show, and then we'll go ahead and bang you out a bag of your favorite flavor over at True Fru. So my way of saying a True Fru thank you. All right, so getting back a little bit to the nomenclature of how we're going to do it, as you know, in order to get as many things as we can. It's saying here that the stream is interrupted. I don't know what that's all about over on Facebook, so we'll have to check into that. As many things as we can do, now we're back on, many things as we can do within the 24-hour show, but in order to be able to invite as many people as possible over on Facebook, we have to be able to kill the show, stop the show at the top of the hour, and then rebroadcast the show. So there'll be 24 episodes of, oh, thank you. Jenny says, yes, I like the idea, and I want them all. Geez, chocolate, blueberry, or raspberries. The raspberries are just unbelievable. So, Jenny, I'll put you down for raspberries. Also, let me say hello to Susan. Susan, thank you for joining us in the 300th episode of All Natural Being. Thank you very much. I super appreciate it. All right, so a part of the nomenclature is that we're going to stop at the top of the hour, which will be coming up here pretty soon, and then we will, the radio portion will stay live. We'll stay live here on IPMNation.com. Who can choose? You can, Henry. Henry's asking, who can choose? Henry, you get to pick. If you just go to TrueFru.com and go, oh, that's the flavor I like, well, then it's on me, right? It's my way of saying thank you for people calling in throughout the day. And I'll pick the flavor, or you pick the flavor, let me know, and I'll bang one out so that you get it. Stream interrupted, happens, ignore it unless others say things. Yeah, I did see that right then. I don't know why that is. Candace says, I always sing, it's my life, it's now or never. I'm not going to live forever. I like that, Candace. Very nice. Now, wait a minute. I got to be careful. Sometimes you remember that thing when the stock market crashed a few years ago and they called it pudgy digits? By accident the other day, I went ahead and gave someone a frown as opposed to a heart when I did that. So let me change that real quick. Candace, thank you very much for that. So what we'll do is, let me see, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Next hour, we're going to have Gordon on from tryh2.com. We've got a really great show lined up today. We'll have Gordon here from tryh2.com about what I call relief is in reach. And I turned to Gordon right after the brain tumor so that I could learn about all different types of all natural powders and potions and the like. So he's going to be joining us from tryh2.com, and he'll be with us and taking your calls for the full hour. So if you suffer from fibromyalgia, if you suffer from any kind of chronic pain, if you suffer from chronic illnesses, and you think, oh, you know what, those illnesses are brought on by oxidative stress, Gordon is an expert in the field, and he'll be with us starting at the top of the hour. And then later today, noon Eastern, Henry Noel from Transitional Radio. He'll be here with us for the hour, and then we go on from there. So I just wanted to make mention of that. And also, let me see one more. Flip this. Oh, this is great. We got 2 more minutes, and then we're not going to, I won't worry about it. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next hour when we come back. Thank you all so much. As I said, thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being, the 300th episode. Can't wait for the 301st episode. Normally have to wait 24 hours. Now it looks like I got to wait about 4 minutes. But we're fired up to be trying to do what we can to spend the full 24 hours. As I said, the ramp up for the 81 to win. And a special thanks to 104.9 The River, 104.9theriver.com for saying no to me and not returning my phone mail or my voicemails or emails or the like, my phone messages and the like, because it compelled me to have to learn, like I went out afterwards and bought soundboards for dummies, radio production for dummies, how to do this, how to do that. So I thank them for saying no to me because it forced me into having to learn how to do this for myself. So thank you very much for that. My good friends at 1049theriver.com. Chris, thank you so very much for that. 1 hour down, piece of cake. I know, Candace, right? Thank you very much, Chris. 300, that's right. And like Bob Lockwood said, it's not because you're built like one of the Spartans. And Candace says 1 hour down, piece of cake. All right, so I will use that as our segue in. Let's do this, and then we will, what am I going to do here? Let's try this one. We'll just see. All right, this is a good attempt because now I'll be able to figure this out for the rest of the show. Let's do this.
This is Henry Noel from Transitional Radio, and you are listening to the #1 rated all-natural being with Brian Brawdy, right here on IPMNation.com.
Yeah, so this would be good to see, and a little bit, as I said, a little bit of the practice. So we go from that, but then what happened to my, all right, so here's what we'll do. We'll just go this, and then we'll be right back. That's loud enough.
IPMNation.com.